Hey, it's Mark Washington, DC Media. If there's one thing on social media that kind of gets me, and I know a lot of them are probably bots and everything else, I always hate the post that starts with unpopular opinion, colon. And then 9 times out of 10, it's not even an unpopular, oh, it's not even an unpopular opinion. And the only thing, obviously people are just kind of trying to farm responses, yada, 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 yada. I bring this up because Barkley was on, I believe it was Bill Simmons' podcast, whining and complaining like a big baby about the media rights deal for the NBA and how many different carriers the deal encompasses, and those carriers essentially are streaming, so there's a cost to it. And we're not even talking about the league pass. We're just talking about watching games that are regularly on, so to speak, on TV, so to speak. And it kind of makes me laugh because the NFL showed everyone this years ago. When I mean years ago, I mean years ago, when people who own satellite dishes, and no, I'm not talking about DirecTV, I'm talking about the satellite dishes that would move. I grew up in Fauquier County. We had a satellite dish, the one that moved. There used to be games on Sunday that we could get for free because of the satellites that we had, the satellite packages that we had subscribed to included some of the networks from those areas of the country. Now, did we get every game free? No. But there was a handful of games we would get free every Sunday. Well, once the NFL Sunday Ticket came out and they did whatever you had to do technology-wise, we didn't get those games free anymore. So now, just like everyone was getting used to and conditioned to, we had to pay. You had to get the NFL Sunday Ticket, right? And we did this for all sports. We did it for NBA, any sort of sport that was on during the season. We'd all search and you'd see what you could grab and all this sort of stuff. And again, it was not at an additional cost. And, eventually all the leagues went to this sort of model. And I bring this up with the NBA in particular is because everyone acts like it's just the NBA that's doing this. At least Barkley was. I'm thinking to myself, well, the NFL had already done it. They had done it not only with the NFL Sunday Ticket, but in the current deal, I think you need what? You need YouTube TV in order to get the Friday night game. Doesn't YouTube have exclusive rights to it? And then you have games that Netflix have exclusive rights to. Then you have Amazon Prime. So it's the new business model. And because the NBA has a plethora of new owners who, by the way, paid a premium for those franchises. The thing is, that plus the media rights, the thing is that why not? We have 11 years on the media rights to condition to the consumer that this is going to be the new normal. No different than what the NFL had already done years ago with the NFL Sunday Ticket and what the NFL continues to do, taking away home games and moving them overseas and all this sort of stuff that they've conditioned you to being normal. You might complain for 5 or 10 minutes, but on the East Coast, it's 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday in a game in London you're watching. You might complain because your team lost a home game, but you know what? Now you and your wife are looking at, hey, that's a destination trip for us. Why don't we look into that game that's being played in Madrid? See how they've conditioned you? So the NBA, the new NBA governors are in the process of conditioning. This is the way that the new normal is going to be. And you have to understand this. People have got to let go that sports is entertainment. Sports is a multi-billion-dollar business, and it's a multi-billion-dollar business for everyone. Owners, players, the gambling industry, the networks, which used to be carriers, but now they're network partners, or everybody. That's what this is. And then everyone complains when that's the way it acts. We live in a world where private equity has not been as prominent as it is today. You have a bunch of ownership groups with private equity mentalities who are acting as such. No different than out in Las Vegas. If you want a non-sports example, no different than you want a more humorous one. No different than the Red Lobster thing when they try to convince you that Red Lobster was in financial trouble because the all-you-can-eat shrimp. When obviously that was not why they were in financial trouble. It's because of private equity and how they operated the business. That's why they were in trouble. So you have guys with that mentality and ownership groups with that mentality that are acting in that way. That, by the way, in every industry in this country that they get their hands on, is functioning the same way. This is not sports specific. That's the thing that gets me about sports fans. You think everything is this and this is the exception. It's not the exception. These sports teams, whether it's the Harris Group here in Washington or many other groups, a sports team is an asset in a portfolio. That's what it is. It's an asset in a portfolio. You think they care about you. You think they care about winning. Those things they would like to do. But first and foremost, it is an asset in the portfolio. So if I have an 11-year insurance cushion to see what the new consumer consumption model looks like, I am going to use that cushion to conditionalize. Now, it might not in 5 years look exactly like this. There might be some give and take and some moves here and some adjustments there with your media partners. But this idea that they're crazy because someone antiquated like Charles Barkley is saying that they're crazy is laughable. What does Charles Barkley understand about any of this business? He doesn't. He doesn't at all. He's still treating it like a sport from when he played. Well, newsflash, when you played, it was a whole bunch of mom and pop owners. It's not the mom and pop owners anymore. The Lakers were holding on to that mom and pop for so long, they've even had to let it go. So this is what this is. And you know what you're going to do? Just like everything else, you're going to pay for it. Some of y'all are already paying for these networks anyway because you pay for the networks because of ESPN. Because of the NFL. So you're already paying for it. So you already have it. So it's a bunch of complaining about nothing. And I wish everyone wants to talk about that they're experts on everything and this and that and snowflakes this and snowflakes that. Yo, bro, this is what it is. It is what it is for everything. Now, you justify it when you think you're going to have 2 more nickels in your pocket that you're never going to have. Now you justify it for that. But then when it's your precious sports, which you want to be so different, so bad, you're upset. Don't be upset. It's the same people. The same people who are doing it in everyday industries are the same people who are owning these franchises. What did you think they were going to do? You think they care about you? Care about you? The only thing they do is care about is extracting money. And they're going to continue to do that. So, as the old saying go, this too shall pass. It's Mark Swarsh, MTC Media.